Hi, I am Penda Lynn James. You might know me as Penda Horton. This is my family. There's mommy and daddy, Will and Marilyn Horton. And I was such a cute baby. I graduated from Wilberforce University. I am a scribe coach. I help leaders in transition to create and execute a plan that helps them get unstuck, execute their goals, and inscribe their legacy. I am an author, and I was inspired by Maya Angelou, who was inspired by Paul Laurence Dunbar. Even though I have not lived in Dayton for almost 20 years, I'm proud of my home. And the streets that shaped me speak to me. There's a lot of rich history in my town. On the outside, it might look like Dayton, Ohio is a forgotten city. Look at what they did to Paul Laurence Dunbar's face. What they don't know is there's a gem right under their nose, and it's time for me to help you discover it. A Toast to Dayton by Paul Laurence Dunbar. Love of home, sublimest passion that the human heart can know. Changeless still, though fate and fashion rise and fall and ebb and flow. To the glory of our nation, to the welfare of our state, let us all with veneration every effort consecrate. And our city, shall we fail her or desert her gracious cause? Nay, with loyalty we hail her and revere her righteous laws. She shall ever claim our duty, for she shines the brightest gem that has ever decked with beauty, dear Ohio's diadem. Dayton, Ohio is known for many things. We are the Gem City. There's a lot of history of funk music, Roger Troutman and Zapp, and we know about the Wright brothers who flew the plane. But do we talk enough about Paul Laurence Dunbar? I grew up on Paul Laurence Dunbar Street. The house that my parents live in is diagonally across from the State Memorial. This is the last home that Paul Laurence Dunbar lived in before he passed away. I've always known about Paul Laurence Dunbar, always been inspired by his poetry and his writings that reminded me of my dignity, my strength, and my courage. I loved when people would stand up at the podium, square their shoulders, clear their throat, and recite, "We wear the mask." Or, "In the morning." I always loved to hear sympathy. As I grew up, I was inspired by Maya Angelou when she told her story of how she lost her voice and then regained it by reading and writing. That resonated deeply with me. In the pandemic, I found the courage to help people tell their own stories of resilience. I called those their bounce back stories. And when I thought about Paul Laurence Dunbar, I thought about the depth of a man that we don't know about, that we don't talk about. And I wanted to bring honor to his name, and at the same time, bringing honor to the home that shaped me into the woman that I am today. But what I've learned over the past few months of working on this film is that sometimes you have to dig a little deeper to get to the root of where you're trying to go. When I dug deeper into the story of Paul Laurence Dunbar, I learned that his life was molded by the love of his mother. I know that story. His writing was inspired by the courage of his father. I know that story. His writing gave people dignity. I desire to do that same thing. So, as I share with you this journey of Paul and Alice plus Dayton, Ohio, I want you to be inspired to dig a little deeper into your own story. I want to give back to my city. The Gem City is a special place. The Paul Laurence Dunbar State Memorial is a community hub. It is a place where book signings and community activities, workshops, and group tours have occurred. Activities in the name of Paul Laurence Dunbar, who paved the way for Black writers starting in the late 1800s. We have so much work to do to build our legacy. It did not stop with him. That's why I'm telling his story. Pretty women wonder where my secret lies. I'm not cute or built to suit a fashion model size. But when I start to tell them, they think I'm telling lies. I say, it's in the reach of my arms, the span of my hips, the stride of my step, the curl of my lips. I'm a woman, phenomenally. Phenomenal woman, that's me. This is an excerpt from one of my favorite poems written by Maya Angelou. In middle school, Maya Angelou was my idol. I carried her book, I Know Why the Caged Bird Sings, everywhere. I recited her poems every chance I got. Still, I Rise and Phenomenal Woman were my go to affirmations when I needed affirmation and encouragement. Believe it or not, I wrapped her words around my spine to help me stand up straight. I was going to be a best selling author, earn my PhD, and I was going to meet me some Maya Angelou. In 2014, several parts of me were crushed when my mother and maternal grandmother were diagnosed with breast cancer. My paternal grandmother was experiencing dementia, and no one in our family recognized the signs. My mother in law was living with cancer. And then Maya Angelou died. I had many sleepless nights, and I remember specifically one night I got out of bed around 4 a.m. and went into my office. I laid on the floor and sobbed until the sun came up. I cried hard, but I had to silence my tears to keep my family from hearing my pain. All I could do was let the tears flow and my body shake. I was overtaken with grief. I cried for our unfulfilled dreams and unhealed traumas. I cried because I was losing them and my life was changing. When I got up to go to work that morning, I left my dreams on the wet carpet and I didn't look back. The two biggest things that I wanted to achieve in my life at that time were impossible. I didn't have the money to get my PhD, and I was never going to have the opportunity to meet Maya Angelou. For 7 years, I have told myself that my purpose in life is to make sure that everyone around me makes it to their destiny. I didn't think there was anything left for me to do. So I stopped considering anything else until one day I looked at my journal and remembered that I've always wanted to write a movie. I recently felt the tug on my heartstrings, and I know why I want to tell this story of Paul Laurence Dunbar. I grew up on Paul Laurence Dunbar Street. His house is diagonally across the street from where my dad lives right now. I walked on the same brick streets that Paul Laurence Dunbar has walked. I've been in speech contests, and I've heard his poems so many times over the years since I was a kid. They stand up inside of me. They cause me to rethink the way that I think about myself and about other people. They give me the courage to remind people to stand in their dignity. Can you imagine what it was like for him as a Black man, first generation born after slavery ended? Think about that for a minute. His mother and father were literally slaves. His father escaped from slavery. His mother was getting ready to be deported to Liberia before she learned the news that she was free. Can you imagine what it's like to be stuck in the middle of those two generations, trying to find your way, trying to give everything that you have, and doors are being slammed in your face because of the color of your skin? I am standing up today, standing up to tell a story of a man that we need to remember. I'm standing up today because I want to bring back the love of my city, Dayton, Ohio. There's so much wealth of people and love and creativity. The people of Dayton, Ohio are phenomenal. And you need to know us. You need to know who we are. You need to know about Irma Bombeck and Edwin C. Moses. You need to know about how the Wright brothers and Paul Laurence Dunbar were friends. You need to know about Roger Troutman and Zapp and Shirley Murdoch. You need to know about Phil Bass. You need to know about all of these wonderful people who shaped the world that we live in right now. Don't forget my city. Don't overlook Dayton, Ohio. After you walk with me for a little while, you're going to know and appreciate and love the Gem City as much as I do. Dayton, Ohio is where Paul Laurence Dunbar set his roots down. His home still exists in the city. And because of him, so many of us who write and recite are. I have missed family dinners, gone to bed late, and been unable to hang out with my friends, but it's all going to be worth it in the end. When times get hard, when you get frustrated, disappointed, and discouraged, remember your strength. When your dreams seem out of reach, and when your loved ones seem far away, remember your strength. These are the words that my grandmother said to me. She too knew about the evils of slavery. She wasn't the first generation born after slavery, but to have picked cotton and to have been denied the right to vote because of the color of her skin, she understood. She remembered her strength. Paul Laurence Dunbar is someone that you need to know. Think about who he was as a man, and think about how you can remove the masks that you hide behind. Remember your strength. Keep going, keep pressing, keep believing in the future. We all have to work together to make sure that our future is secure and our children remember their strength. That's what this is all about.